Time travel. It's a concept that has fascinated us for centuries. From science fiction to groundbreaking theories in physics, the idea of bending time and exploring different eras has captured our imagination. But what if time travel wasn't just a fantasy? What if some of the wildest theories actually held the key to unlocking the impossible? In this video, we'll dive into 10 crazy time travel theories that could be real, exploring mind-bending possibilities that challenge everything we know about space, time, and the universe itself. Let's get started. Wormholes as time machines. Imagine this, a tunnel connecting two far-flung points in space and time, like an interdimensional shortcut that bends reality itself. This is the idea behind wormholes, often referred to as bridges in the universe. What if you could hop in one end and instantly travel across time as well as space? Sounds wild, right? According to the theory, if you could somehow manipulate a wormhole by speeding up one end to near light speed or placing it near a supermassive black hole, you'd create a time discrepancy between the two ends. Essentially, you'd be stepping through a time portal. But here's the kicker. These cosmic passages would need something called exotic matter with negative energy to keep them open and stable. Without that, they'd collapse faster than you can say time traveler. While wormholes haven't been observed yet, the math checks out. Could they really exist out there in the cosmos, just waiting to be discovered? If they do, they might hold the key to bending time itself, an absolute game changer for how we view the universe and the possibilities of time travel. The many worlds interpretation. What if every choice you make, every action you take creates a new universe, a parallel reality where things unfold differently? Sounds like a plot twist from a sci-fi show, right? But this is at the heart of the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. Imagine this. Every time a decision happens, instead of just one outcome, all possibilities come to life in separate universes. If you traveled back in time and changed something significant, like preventing an accident or altering a conversation, this wouldn't erase your original timeline. Instead, a whole new branch of reality would split off, with its own version of events. So, in a way, time travel could create an infinite web of alternate realities, each one a potential what-if scenario. The fascinating part, according to this theory, the universe isn't a singular, linear path, it's an ever-growing multiverse. Could time travel let us peek into these alternate worlds, exploring the countless what-could-have-been versions of our reality? Now that's a mind-bending thought. Closed time-like curves. Picture this. You could step into a loop of time where the past, present, and future aren't as separate as we think. This mind-bending idea comes from the concept of closed time-like curves, CTCs. In simple terms, CTCs are like pathways in space-time that loop back on themselves. If you could travel along one of these curves, you'd essentially end up at the point in time where you started, allowing you to revisit and even influence past events. Sounds like a paradox in the making, right? The cool part is that CTCs are theoretically possible within the framework of general relativity, thanks to the way space-time can bend and twist under extreme conditions. But here's the catch. Creating such a loop requires conditions that are beyond our current capabilities, like enormous amounts of energy or the presence of exotic matter. Still, the idea is tantalizing. Could there be hidden loops in the fabric of space-time just waiting for someone, or something, to step into them and relive history? Maybe time travel isn't as impossible as it seems after all. Cosmic strings. Imagine a thread so thin, yet so incredibly powerful, it could stretch across the entire universe. These are cosmic strings, hypothetical one-dimensional defects in space-time that could act as time travel conduits. According to some scientists, if two cosmic strings were to pass each other at enormous speeds, the gravitational energy released would warp space-time dramatically, potentially creating a rip in time. This rip could allow someone to travel through time, sort of like hitching a ride on a cosmic highway. The intriguing part? These cosmic strings are believed to have been formed during the early moments of the universe, which means they might already be out there, waiting to be discovered. The big question is, can we ever harness them? The idea is still very much in the realm of theory, and we've yet to detect a cosmic string in the wild. But if they do exist, they could offer an entirely new way to experience time travel. It's a wild thought. Could a mere strand of space-time be the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe? Tipler cylinder. Now, imagine a giant, infinitely long cylinder spinning at a speed near the speed of light. It sounds like the stuff of science fiction, right? But this is the idea behind the Tipler cylinder, a concept proposed by physicist Frank J. Tipler. According to his theory, if you could somehow create such a massive, rapidly rotating cylinder, it could warp space-time around it in a way that forms a time loop. By traveling along the right path near this spinning cylinder, you could theoretically travel backward or forward in time. It's like using the cylinder's rotation to pull you through time itself. But here's the catch. Constructing a Tipler cylinder would require an unimaginable amount of energy and mass, way beyond anything we could currently manage. Plus, there's the issue of finding a material that could withstand the extreme forces at play. Still, the idea is fascinating. Could a colossal spinning object really open a portal to time travel? If it could be built, it might just be the key to bending time in ways we've only dreamed of. Quantum entanglement and time travel. Picture this. Two particles, separated by vast distances, instantly influencing each other's state no matter how far apart they are. This is quantum entanglement, a bizarre phenomenon that has scientists scratching their heads. But what if this strange property of quantum physics could be the key to time travel? Some theories suggest that entangled particles could potentially send information backward or forward in time. If you were able to manipulate these particles, think of them as tiny time travelers, you could, in theory, transmit data to the past or future. Imagine sending a message or even a signal through time by exploiting entanglement. It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but the possibilities are mind-blowing. The catch? Quantum entanglement itself is incredibly fragile, and its use for time travel is purely theoretical at this point, but the mere thought of particles existing in a state where they're connected across time, well, that alone opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. Could we ever unlock the power of quantum entanglement to jump through time? Only time will tell. The grandfather paradox. Imagine traveling back in time and accidentally preventing your grandfather from meeting your grandmother. Now, this might sound like a small change, but think about the consequences. If your grandparents never met, your parents wouldn't have been born. And if your parents weren't born, neither would you. This creates a classic time travel dilemma called the grandfather paradox. It's a mind-bending contradiction. If you were never born, how could you have traveled back in time to stop your grandparents from meeting in the first place? This paradox has stumped scientists and philosophers for years, sparking endless debates about the nature of time travel. Some theorists suggest that the universe would self-correct to preserve its own consistency, meaning that even if you tried to change something critical, the events would unfold in a way that still keeps your existence intact. Others argue that changing the past is simply impossible, and no matter how hard you try, things would always work out to keep you in the timeline. The grandfather paradox may never have a clear answer, but it raises one big question. If time travel is real, are there rules we can't break no matter what? The bootstrap paradox. Here's a mind-bender for you. Imagine you travel back in time and hand Shakespeare a copy of his own works, telling him to publish them. He does, and they end up back in your hands, which inspires you to go back in time and give them to him again. Wait a minute. Who wrote Shakespeare's works in the first place? This is the essence of the bootstrap paradox, where an object or piece of information exists without ever having been created. It's a self-sustaining loop with no clear origin. Think of it like a time-traveling riddle, something that exists because it was passed back and forth through time, but without a starting point. The paradox raises some fascinating questions about causality and the nature of time itself. How can something exist if there's no original creator? It challenges everything we think we know about cause and effect. While the bootstrap paradox is still a theoretical concept, it sparks a deeper conversation. Could time travel allow us to create infinite loops of knowledge, ideas, or even objects with no clear beginning or end? The very thought opens up endless possibilities for what time travel could mean for the flow of time. Time dilation and time travel. Imagine this. You're on a spaceship traveling near the speed of light, zipping through space at incredible speeds. Now back on Earth, time continues to tick away at its usual pace, but for you aboard the spaceship, time moves much slower. This is time dilation, a phenomenon predicted by Einstein's theory of relativity. As you approach the speed of light, time stretches and slows down relative to the outside world. So if you were to spend just a few years on that high-speed journey, by the time you return, centuries might have passed on Earth. It's like a cosmic time travel experience, where you get to leap into the future without ever aging significantly. While it's not quite the back-in-time travel many of us dream about, it's a form of time travel that's based on real science. The catch? Reaching those near-light speeds requires more energy than we can currently harness, not to mention the intense forces at play on the human body. But the concept of time dilation is already being observed with satellites and astronauts, albeit on a much smaller scale. If we could crack the code to faster-than-light travel, time dilation could become the ultimate way to travel across centuries in the blink of an eye. Time travel via black holes. Picture this: a massive spinning black hole, so dense and powerful that it distorts everything around it, space, time, and even light itself. But what if black holes, long thought of as cosmic destroyers, could actually be portals to time travel? This mind-blowing idea is rooted in the theory of general relativity. As matter falls into a black hole, it gets stretched and squeezed to the point where the fabric of space-time warps around it. At the event horizon, the point of no return, time itself begins to behave differently. For an outside observer, time slows down drastically near a black hole, but for someone falling into it, they might experience time differently, potentially even traveling into the future. Some scientists propose that if you could somehow avoid being crushed by the immense gravitational forces and pass through the event horizon, you might emerge in a different time altogether, perhaps even in another era of the universe. It's all speculative, of course, and entering a black hole could spell certain death with current technology, but the concept raises a tantalizing possibility. Could black holes be the ultimate cosmic time machines, connecting us to distant futures, or even parallel timelines, just waiting for someone to explore them? If you enjoyed exploring these mind-blowing time travel theories, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to InnoVision Tech for more fascinating content on futuristic technologies and the mysteries of the universe. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible, so stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of science and innovation. Got any time travel theories of your own? Drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching.